Good evening. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. Tonight, what's the latest on the BTL SpeedNet proposed acquisition? Forget the naysayers. The Prime Minister suggests it's full steam ahead. And Elon Musk's Starlink. They say that's BTL's future competition. But what is it doing in Belize currently? We went looking for it. Plus, today, the new commanders of the BDF and the Belize National Coast Guard were installed. We'll take you to the ceremonies. Also, we'll take you to Placencia, where Belize is teaching other countries about our seaweed farming. And we'll look at tonight's protest for an imprisoned teacher in San Pedro. These stories and much more are ahead on 7 News tonight, so please stay tuned.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Child marriage, a global problem, but it's also a Belize problem. In 2024, Belize amended the Marriage Act. Legal marriage age, 18, no exceptions. Child marriage is now illegal in Belize, but early unions are still putting children at risk in many communities. What drives this? Poverty, limited access to education and health services, violence and unsafe homes, and harmful social norms that have gone unchallenged for too long. Many cases involve adolescent girls and older men, leading to teen pregnancy, school dropout, and limited opportunities. To protect our children and prevent early unions, everyone has a role to play. Share the facts about the law, encourage teens to stay in school, create safe spaces where young people feel supported. Support families facing violence or stress by helping them access services. Strengthen youth programs and parent support. Assist young people in getting access to the information, services, and support they need. Empower both girls and boys to understand their rights and make safe choices. When families, schools, churches, and communities work together, we can end early unions and protect every child's future. Know the law. Share this message. Support our children. End child marriage and early unions in Belize.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman. Locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls. Do you feel crime in Belize is out of control? What if we could reduce the opportunities for crime by reducing dependence on what criminals want most? Cash. Imagine a Belize where anyone with a mobile phone could safely transfer digital money. Imagine the lives that could be saved. Modern banking and digital payments make this possible. But it won't happen unless the regulator makes these options affordable and available everywhere. But he refuses to do so. That's not leadership, Mr. Governor. That's arrogance.
The Vital Statistics Unit is undergoing a digital transformation. This transformation is designed to make accessing vital records faster, easier, more efficient, and more affordable for all Belizeans. The CRVS offers 3 main types of services. You can register births, deaths, marriages, adoptions, and even apply for a deed poll to legally change your name. You can make amendments and corrections to existing records. Information services cover the issuance of various certificates for records that are already registered. Each certificate will now include a unique QR code, which can be scanned and verified. You will also receive regular updates on your application status via email or SMS. The new CRVS digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. To learn more, visit our website and start using the CRVS today.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coast.
This morning, the 2023 in the
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Shirley Housel, and here's
What's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight?
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Linda Craft.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank. Building the future together.
When our community comes together, hope shines brightest. Join us Friday, January 30th at 7 p.m. for Hope for Dr. Eck, a special fundraising event at the House of Culture. Enjoy great music by Firestarter Sounds, Tone Jam, DJ Clarks, and DJ Woody. Delicious food and drinks on sale, raffle prizes, and dancing, all in support of Dr. Eck. Tickets are $100 per person, and tables are only $50 seating 6, plus a complimentary glass of wine. Prayer of Healing begins at 7 p.m. Presented by Modisco and Niche. For tickets, WhatsApp 624-1828. Home for Dr. Eck, Friday, January 30th at 7 p.m. at the House of Culture.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We begin our newscast with a top story tonight where despite the strong cautions from businesses, religious, media, and civil society sectors, BTL's chairman seems to be moving full steam ahead with the SpeedNet acquisition. BTL's executive management team held a consultation yesterday with the Chamber of Commerce and the Belize Business Bureau. According to a release, the company is already outlining the terms for a post-acquisition telecoms landscape with no mention of the regulator, the PUC, which has the sole responsibility of first approving any merger and second imposing any terms or conditions for post-merger behavior. Well, tonight, that PUC will, with all commissioners, that is, appointed by the Prime Minister and the chairman, a former longtime employee of the Ashcroft Alliance, remains silent, even as BTL publicly pushes for a merger. And where does the Prime Minister stand? Well, officially, Cabinet has declared no position, but in media interviews, he's made it clear that it's imperative for BTL to snatch up the deal if the company is going to survive. Today, he said that's not an endorsement, but first, though, we asked him to comment on the UDP's BTL demonstration on Tuesday. Here's that response in detail.
I've always said we live in a democratic country, and anybody that believes that they want to protest, it is their constitutional right to do so. And all I ask is that to do it within the scope of the law.
We have several sectors coming out against the proposed acquisition: NTUCB, NIAB, the other unions, as well as independent senators and, the opposition. Will you still encourage the BTL chairman to go through with this deal?
It's not a matter of me encouraging. As I said, we are allowing for the process to proceed. At the end of the day, we have also a responsibility to not only to BTL but to Social Security. As was pointed out to us presently, Social Security is having a rate of return on the equity on the money that they invested about 2%, and they believe that by consolidating the industry, that will be able to increase to about between 9 and 11%. So to ensure that Social Security and all of us that pay to Social Security will be able to get back our investment.
But you have publicly endorsed the deal.
No, I have not publicly endorsed this deal. I have said all along, let the process proceed. And they came to Cabinet, they spoke to us for about 2 hours and a half. They answered every single question that ministers had, and they left to our satisfaction. But as a Cabinet, we have said let the process continue, and then when the members of the board of directors of BTL meet, that then they can make a decision based on, because they do have a fiduciary responsibility to BTL to do what they believe is in the best interest of BTL, and that's, I think, important for us to know.
So then we'd be buying assets and liabilities?
No, as from what we're told, no liabilities. It's simply just the assets. It's cash flow that you buy, not in that kind of business.
Were you disappointed that
their consultations and Cabinet announced its decision?
I don't want to continue in a discussion with you all. I've said what I think I could say, because whatever I say, then try to misinterpret it. We are allowing the process to continue, and at the end of the day, I believe that Social Security and the board members are going to do their fiduciary responsibility to Social Security for those that represent, and the board of directors to BTL.
And while the Social Security Board of Directors still has not taken a decision to support the acquisition, the government is moving ahead with adjustments to the regulatory landscape for telecom providers. Now, the existing Telecoms Act already says very clearly that market forces should guide rate setting in that sector. But the Prime Minister says that's a new statutory instrument will basically enforce rates, no longer leaving it to market forces. It seems like just one more way to pave the path for a monopoly, but the PM says it's about the consumers.
The SI, there was a cabinet paper on Tuesday. Whilst I can't go into great details because it's going to be made public. What the PUC is saying now is that BTL, with them being more than about 68% of telecoms and 50% of broadband, they are the dominant service provider. So irrespective of what happens, we have to have better regulations in the industry to ensure that that consumers are not taken advantage of, and that they just don't raise prices arbitrarily, and that there has to be a process to be able to do that. It is important for our citizens to understand that we need to protect their interests. And how you do that protection is through the Public Utilities Commission. They do that for energy, they do that for water, and now they're going to do it for both broadband and telecommunications.
What do you make of the independent senators saying, though, that they would block the bill if it goes to the Senate?
Which bill?
Any bill concerning this proposed acquisition?
But that has nothing to do with the acquisition. It has absolutely nothing to do with acquisition. Whether the acquisition takes place or don't take place, it will proceed.
We note that experts tell us that the existing Telecoms Act already empowers the PUC to make regulations to deal with rates in the case where there is one provider or a dominant provider in the market. But to change the entire Telecoms Act to suit a monopoly market would likely require sending a raft of amendments to the National Assembly. And while government thinkers with the industry regulators possibly to make way for a monopoly, that would be in the short term because the whole reason for this so-called BTL smart consolidation is the arrival of Elon Musk's internet service provider, Starlink. They say BTL can't compete, but right now Starlink doesn't provide service in Belize, and the license it received 1 year ago from the PUC limits operations in Belize to emergency situations and unserved or underserved areas. The Prime Minister discussed that today in detail.
Has Elon Musk's company sought any change in license to be a bigger provider in Belize?
I don't know, you'd have to check with the Public Utilities Commission, but what we have said in Cabinet is that if somebody applies for their services from Starlink, that we should allow them to have it if it is not in an area where they have access to the services that Belizean companies provide.
Legal observers tell us that the limited Starlink license could likely easily be expanded. And while that may or may not happen sometime in the future, the fact is that right now there is no Starlink operation that we could find in Belize. Our very own Jaleesa Roberts went looking for their offices. Here's more.
Starlink is a satellite internet constellation that provides high-speed, low-latency broadband to over 150 countries. Notably, Belize isn't on their current map, and they are a licensed provider in Belize for satellite internet. This public notice for Starlink Belize LLC says that their address is in 56 Daly Street. Their application, however, states that as Saley Street, but that's probably just a typo. We went to 56 Daly Street and we saw Quijano and Associates upstairs and the Jewelry Hub downstairs. We were met by Claudia Veos coming out of the Quijano office, who told us she is only an agent and we need to send her an email requesting information and she can run it by her client. Who is the client? Well, we couldn't get those details either.
We also tried to reach the contact listed on their PUC application, Juan Velez, who has a Miami telephone number, but he did not respond to our inquiry. And we take a break now, but when we come back, we'll have more of our interview with the Prime Minister. Plus, we'll take you to Placencia, where Belize is teaching other countries about our seaweed farming. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Child marriage, a global problem, but it's also a Belize problem. In 2024, Belize amended the Marriage Act. Legal marriage age, 18, no exceptions. Child marriage is now illegal in Belize, but early unions are still putting children at risk in many communities. What drives this? Poverty, limited access to education and health services, violence and unsafe homes, and harmful social norms that have gone unchallenged for too long. Many cases involve adolescent girls and older men, leading to teen pregnancy, school dropout, and limited opportunities. To protect our children and prevent early unions, everyone has a role to play. Share the facts about the law. Encourage teens to stay in school. Create safe spaces where young people feel supported. Support families facing violence or stress by helping them access services. Strengthen youth programs and parent support. Assist young people in getting access to the information, services, and support they need. Empower both girls and boys to understand their rights and make safe choices. When families, schools, churches, and communities work together, we can end early unions and protect every child's future. Know the law. Share this message. Support our children. End child marriage and early unions in Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. There will also be a bike rally throughout the streets of Blue Creek and Belize City on February 7th and 14th respectively. All participants will get a free oil change. Check out our Facebook page for more details. Love Your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquit Equipment Parts Service.
Indian restaurant located at 148 Newton Barracks Road in Belize City, saying great authentic Indian cuisine. More space, a VIP area, and better ambience. Visit them at their new location or place your order via WhatsApp to 614-667. Restaurant. Come enjoy a true Indian experience.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Cherie Culsel, and here's
What's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight?
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Linda Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman. Locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls. Do you feel crime in Belize is out of control? What if we could reduce the opportunities for crime by reducing dependence on what criminals want most? Cash. Imagine a Belize where anyone with a mobile phone could safely transfer digital money. Imagine the lives that could be saved. Modern banking and digital payments make this possible. But it won't happen unless the regulator makes these options affordable and available everywhere. But he refuses to do so. That's not leadership, Mr. Governor. That's arrogance.
Welcome to a new era of civil registration in Belize. Introducing new digital services through the Civil Registry and Vital Statistics System, CRVS. This transformation is designed to make accessing vital records faster, easier, more efficient, and more affordable for all Belizeans. You can access vital records needed for business, travel, healthcare, and other needs. If you prefer face-to-face assistance, our friendly and efficient staff are here to help. The CRVS now offers both e-certificates and paper certificates. The CRVS is designed for all Belizeans, from government officials to professionals, from rural communities to our migrant population. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. To learn more, visit our website and start using the CRVS today.
Champion security, champion security, champion security. Yeah. Your security is our business, so we gonna protect you like a champion, like a champion.
Guess what, Mr. Handsome? Yeah, over there, champion security. This is the place to be. What does sign say? Champion Security. Here at Champion Security, we provide quality service. You know why? Such as triology lock, fire alarm, IP camera system, gate operator, biometric lock, and alarm system. Champion Security. Make a go check out what they go on inside of Champion Security. Boy, nice to meet you, my brother. Tell me a little bit more about Champion Security.
Well, welcome, Mr. Hanson. Here at Champion Security, we offer fire system, alarm system, camera system, gate operator, access control, and also trilogy locks and magnetic locks. Everything you need to do with security systems for residential and businesses, you could find everything here at Champion Security. We also consist of 12 technicians, and we offer technical support 24 hours. So anything you need for your security systems, you could find everything here at Champion Security.
Remember, guys, here at Champion Security, we live by our motto, where your safe stay is our business. Give us a call now. Don't forget to check us on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And continue to shake it to the max all the way. Champion Security, the best place to be. We care for your safety.
You want to rent it? That's not a problem. We got remote gate.
A safer Belize begins with all of us, and the Belize Police Department is taking bold steps to build that future together. The new 2025-2029 Crime Control and Crime Prevention Strategy is transforming policing from the ground up, reforming practices, rebuilding trust, and strengthening accountability. With investments in modern technology, upgraded infrastructure, and smart data-driven tools, officers will respond faster, work smarter, and endeavor to keep communities safer. This plan puts community partnership at its core. It will require more engagement, result in more transparency, and introduce new programs that support our youth, prevent violence, and promote second chances. From fighting gang violence and illegal firearms to confronting emerging threats like cybercrime, the BPD is building stronger, smarter, more specialized teams to protect every Belizean. And with enhanced training and leadership development, our officers are better prepared than ever to serve with integrity and professionalism. The Belize Police Department is rebuilding, reforming, and renewing its commitment to you. Together, we can create a safer, stronger Belize.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Mark Lizarraga once stood tall in the Senate demanding transparency, accountability, and honesty with the people's money.
We in the business community were very
vocal. He spoke out against corruption, insisting that leaders must answer to the public. But today, as chairman of BTL, on a contract worth well over $250,000 annually, his tune has changed.
Yes, I'm the chairman. Yes, I know that negotiations are.
The voice that once called for openness now seems silent when it comes to corporate responsibility.
That is
a travesty.
Belize deserves leaders who practice what they preach in government and in business.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast tonight with one of our top stories. As Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister has direct responsibility for the Customs Department, and you would think he has taken sharp note of our recent story suggesting that customs officers are cutting into government revenue by working through brokers who charge car importers up to 60% more in kickbacks than what is actually paid in duty. Well, the story caused a major buzz when we broke it 2 days ago, but the Prime Minister says he just heard about it and said that the person heard on the recording demanding his money back needs to go to the DPP. He spoke also about the broader policy push behind a switch to a new system of valuing imported used and salvage title vehicles. Here's more.
No, I'm not aware of it. I just heard about it. But I would like what I told, what I said to the media when it comes to the police officer, Powell. Yeah, that he said he had evidence. I told him he needs to go to the DPP. This gentleman needs to go to the DPP or to the police and lodge a formal complaint, and so that we can deal with it. We are trying to fix that problem. Over a year ago, we were changing where you said car dealers or import everybody. Most people that when they bring in their cars, they bring like a bill of sale, I think, and not bring the actual document that shows what they paid for it. And so we've changed the law back then to ensure that they have to do that. Last year there was a great uproar from the car dealers. They said they were not given enough notice to be able to prepare. Well, we have given them more than a year's notice. We've started to implement it, but it does not end there. Because when you start to look at there are two things that we have to look at. One is to be able to start to encourage newer vehicles to come in. So we need to be able to reduce look at how we can reduce the taxes on the newer vehicles that will be able to last longer in Belize. Trying to see how we can discourage salvage vehicles to come here. Salvage vehicles cannot run in the United States, and most countries in Central America and the Caribbean do not allow salvage vehicles to come into Belize, into their countries. We need to ensure that we can protect our consumers. So we need to look at how we can better regulate that, reduce the tax, and remove the subjectivity of custom officers. And it's already started because one or two people, colleagues have asked me if we can help, and they said, no, you can't. That's the law, that's the tax. And we want to be able to be open, fair, transparent to everyone, and to ensure that we could collect the taxes for the Belizean people. But at the same time, as I repeat, we have to not to go back to cabinet to look at the tax rates and probably bring it down a little bit to encourage newer vehicles to come into Belize.
And while the Prime Minister dodged the issue of the kickback customs brokers, we will continue to follow up on it and bring you updates. Meanwhile, we've recently been reporting on a credit card scam carried out by a call center employees. Well, today the Prime Minister weighed in. He said that the authorities need to go after the scammers before they cause irreparable harm to the BPO sector, which employs almost 20,000 Belizeans. And though it's the UDP's Lee-Mark Chang who initially sounded the alarm, the PM says that Chang hasn't reached out to him yet on the matter.
We need to go after anyone that's coming, not only our citizens, but people outside of Belize from these BPOs. We have to be grateful to the BPO industry that presently they are providing more than 20,000 jobs. Salaries have surpassed $150 million a year, so we need to protect them. We need to ensure that they can feel safe to operate here. So whatever the problem may be, we need to look into it. Lee-Mark Chang, I consider him a friend, although we're from opposite sides. but he has never called me and complained about it and what we can do. I know one or two persons have spoken to me that they have spoken to the police, but I think we need to put more in place. How is it that we can go after these scammers, and we need to go to them for the full extent of the law.
Will the government be opening the books to the public account for what the Community Development Fund in each constituency is being used for? Well, that's what Jerry Enriquez asked for in his Freedom of Information request 2 months ago. But all he got is the response was a single sheet of paper. The Prime Minister said that it's actually a ton of receipts. However, he opened the invitation for Enriquez to come in and view them. He also explained the reason why his constituency gets the most funding above all other constituencies.
What has happened is that what we have done, and we did not hide it, we said it in government, the constituencies, what we did, we put them, I think, in 3 different categories depending on the number of votes that you have. That is one. And then we cited on the different ways that you can spend that money. Thirdly, we are very, very strict that if you do not give your receipts and you do not report how you spend that money, you do not get any more money until that has happened. A number of area representatives were upset because we were not giving them the money, and I've said it in cabinet, I've said it in caucuses. Everybody, including myself, we have to report every dollar that we get to, first it was to Mrs. Garcia and now to the Cabinet Secretary. Now, as to the receipts, we have to make sure that the receipts are properly documented. And I know that somebody say, well, the Prime Minister, you will get extra money. Of late, I was getting some extra money simply because everybody in the country asked me for help, not only Orange Rock Central. And so I use that money to be helping people in Toledo, in our Belize City, all over for sports, education, health, you name it. And that is the only reason. But this is done by proportion on the amount of votes that you have, registered votes, and I said 3 categories, and even the opposition gets that money. I need to add, when we were in opposition, we got zero. We got nothing from the government. Not once I got a grocery bag or boost or monies to be able to help in the constituency. We believe that we have to do differently and that we have to respect the will of the Belizean people.
So then why haven't those receipts been provided to Enriquez, who requested them?
Do you know how much receipts we're talking? We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands of receipts. And obviously, we are going to be spending all day providing receipts. I think what is important is to provide them with the monies that have been provided by, which is also, whilst it's not been detailed in the budget, we give them detailed by constituency what they get.
Invite him to go and look them over?
Well, that is something, of course. If he wants to come and look them over, he's happy. We're happy for him to go and through it. It's several filing cabinets that you have to look at. It's a lot.
We also asked the Prime Minister about Rhett Kennedy, the American oilman who was found with a weapon at the Philip Goldson Airport as he was leaving the country on his private jet. He was allowed to leave without charges, which suggests big strings pulled. But today, Prime Minister Briceño said he had no involvement. Here's more.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, more than what you have in the news. I've never met this gentleman. I've never spoken to him. But I'm sure that if he had come in and asked for an appointment, quite likely to do a serious investment, it's quite likely I would have listened to him. But what I've been told by the Minister of Police is simply that he had a licensed firearm from the United States, and it seems that either he did not know about it, that you have to report it in Belize, or that he simply forgot. So what did we do? We confiscated the weapons the weapon and the bullets, and we handed over to the U.S. Embassy, and then he was allowed to go home.
Meanwhile, last night we reported on a protest being held for Alex Norales, a teacher at San Pedro High School who was convicted and imprisoned for the sexual assault of 2 students. But as we told you last night, his daughter is leading a crusade to clear his name and get him out of jail. It happened on social media and hit the ground last night in San Pedro. Our very own Jaleesa Roberts reports.
Teacher Alex Norales, a name trending across Belizean social media, is now at the center of a national conversation about justice, due process, and student safety. The conviction has triggered a protest, his family's call for an appeal, and a storm of social media commentary for and against the magistrate's court decision. News of the conviction triggered a public response in San Pedro last night, where residents gathered in a peaceful demonstration in support of Norales. The event was organized by his daughter, Vivian Norales, who insists her father was denied a fair process. But at the middle of the case are 3 girls who testified in court that their former teacher groped them. And on the periphery, lots of noise, suggesting judicial misconduct and a conspiracy against Norales. We know that in the police report, they were mentioning the hugging, the hugging in an indecent manner. You know what the report said. And so what is your response to that, no? Reading that, seeing that.
My response to that, I want people also to follow along the comments and see how many students have posted my father hugging them. And my dad is a big man. He's tall, he's 6 foot plus and, built very stocky. And, when you have students, some of them are built very small. And when my dad towers to hug them, they might take it, whatever.
The public discussion around the case has gotten the attention of quite a few educators who are now more conscious of their interactions with their students.
I'm really happy that I've gotten the attention of a lot of teachers and educators around the country nationwide, that they are now looking at this case, following this case closely, because in a profession where they are expected to have some form of affection or love or care towards their children, I think now a lot of teachers, they're now scared. They're more, they're going to be more careful on how they interact with their children.
While a handful have differing opinions of what happened, this has not dampened the spirits of Alex's daughter, Vivian.
Well, there's been an uproar and mostly everything positive about my father. Whatever the naysayer has to say, it doesn't affect us anyway, because there's so many more positive than negatives, and I think that's what's important. No matter what you do, no matter in any type of situation, you always have those trying to want to carry their own agenda and go on their own smear campaign. But I'm very happy to see people defending my dad. I don't even have to do it alone, and it helps my family to know that we're not alone in this and that we will get justice out of it.
Despite the protests and growing public debate, the conviction and 18-month sentence remains in effect. Norales remains in jail while his family has applied to appeal. Until that is heard, his daughter plans to keep the issue in the public eye. Jaleesa Roberts, 7 News.
We'll keep following this story and bring you updates as it develops. Meanwhile, today was a big day for the Ministry of National Defense and Security with the change of command for both the Belize Coast Guard and the Belize Defense Force. The Coast Guard had its ceremony in the morning as Rear Admiral Elton Bennett gave his last address as commandant. In his place now sits Rear Admiral Gregory Soberanes, who has been prepped to continue the work of his predecessors. Our very own Courtney Menzies was at the ceremony and has this story.
After 6 years as head of the Belize Coast Guard, today was Admiral Elton Bennett's last day in uniform. He passed out the metaphorical baton to his second-in-command, Captain Gregory Soberanes, who today took on the title of Rear Admiral and the role of Commandant. It's a moment that Soberanes has not only been anticipating, but that he has been preparing for over many years. And now that the time is here, he said it feels surreal.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. It's been, for me, it's a continuation of leadership. I think throughout my career, having held different leadership commands, this is definitely an additional step in that leadership continuity. I'm at peace, really. I believe that God has prepared me for this moment, and I'm Utrinke Paratus. I'm ready for it.
A new leadership for the Coast Guard means continuing the service and standard that has been upheld by previous commandants.
You've served under multiple commandants. What are you taking from them now as the leader?
Oh, the legacy that has been passed on to me is great, significant. I remember we started out with General Cedric Borland, and then moving on to Admiral John Borland, and of course now our former commandant, Admiral Elton Bennett. Great leaders, men who have directly impacted my life, who have helped to shape my thought process when it comes to leadership. So I am honored really, and I am blessed to have been able to serve under such great leadership in the Coast Guard. And I believe it is because of those leadership, those men who have made the commitment to maritime defense and security for the country of Belize. They have groomed me for this hour, for this moment, and for this time.
And for the former commandant and the new CEO at the Home Affairs Ministry, he had a few words of farewell for the family he has been a part of for 2 decades.
My farewell address to you is very simple. Thank you and take care. Thank you for your dedication to duty. Thank you for giving the Coast Guard and Belize your utmost best. Thank you for being an exemplary force to this country. The Belize Coast Guard stands out as that organization which excels, that standard across the government public service, that holds a high standard of discipline. It has certainly been an honor and a privilege to have served along with you.
And with new leadership in both the Coast Guard and the Belize Defense Force, the PM said that the new blood will do the military service a lot of good.
Mr. Serrano is quite an impressive gentleman, and I said I was quite impressed when he recited the Lord is my shepherd with such vigor and such confidence and such emotion. Kind of gives you a little sense on the man. You know, there's a Christian man, a man that believes in God, and I believe that once you have those basic strong principles in you, would allow you to be able to serve the people, to serve the Coast Guard and the sailors and the people of Belize to its best of his abilities. I believe that, whenever you put in new blood at the helm, they come with, again, some other ideas and hopefully with more energy and to be able to continue to move, in this case, the Belize Coast Guard, even to be able to better defend Belize and to support our people and to protect them. And as I said, I have very, very high admiration to the Coast Guard and to the sailors.
Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
And after the Coast Guard in the morning, it was the BDF's turn in the afternoon. They bid farewell to Brigadier General Azariel Loria and welcomed his successor, Anthony Velasquez. Jaleesa Roberts was there and has this report.
Today, the Belize Defense Force changed command with Brigadier General Anthony Velasquez now at the helm. He replaces General Azariel Loria, who served for 4 years and is now retiring. Brigadier General Velasquez's military journey began while he was a student at St. John's College, where he served in the volunteer element of the Belize Defense Force from 1992 to 1994, first as a private and later as an officer cadet. In June 1994, he officially joined the regular force of the BDF. In his speech, he mentioned that it was not achieved alone.
Today marks a moment of continuity, discipline, and commitment. As I assume command, I do so with humility, with gratitude, and with absolute resolve to lead the force with clarity, purpose, and unwavering dedication. Becoming the highest ranking soldier in this organization has not been my doing alone, but it is as a cumulative result of remarkable opportunities and success. But most importantly, it's because of the amazing people I have been privileged to cross paths with. It is with 100% certainty that the central reason that I am standing here today is because of the collective support, mentorship, and tough love of all those persons. Make no mistake, it has been anything but a smooth and primrose path, but the challenges, mistakes, and lessons have caused immense growth and self-awareness and has tempered me into the being who stands here today.
But the old guard also had some words of advice.
To the incoming commander, General Velasquez, sir, you have been intimately involved in the daily functions of the BDF. You understand our aspirations. You have the training and experience to lead the force forward, especially since we gained momentum following the setbacks of the COVID-19 pandemic.
General Velasquez, I don't want to be Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, but allow me to provide a few suggestions as we embark on a new journey. Please prioritize the troops and continue to look after our men and women and make some decisions for their well-being. Focus on training, finalize and implement the strategies for continued professionalizations that remain a work in progress.
The BDF holds the line in the territorial dispute between Belize and Guatemala, and the PM made a vow to the country.
As long as I'm Prime Minister, the security of Belize will never be compromised, not by criminals, not by external threats, and not by anyone who seeks to undermine our peace and sovereignty.
Tomorrow, the BDF will be having a graduation ceremony for the new cadets who were present today. Delise Roberts, 7 News.
General Loria's tenure was longer than usual, and we asked the former Minister of Defense, Oscar Mira, why. He explained in detail.
For the Belize Defense Force, we have a set amount of years. So that is 4 years of command. And after 4 years of command, then you are required to relinquish your command, and even if you don't reach the age of 55. So we go by years of service and the years of command. However, the Prime Minister, who appoints the Commander BDF and the Commandant of the Coast Guard, can always, as he sees fit, give you extension of command.
Has it always been 4 years? Because I know previously there were persons that served 3 years.
It has always been up to the Prime Minister, actually, but up to 4 years.
Meanwhile, the police department's annual comparative statistics presentation was held on Thursday, January 22nd, but the media was not invited, as was customary, right up until last year. Well, when we asked the minister in charge, he said that he was unaware of the media snub and it was the Compulse call to invite us. Here's more.
Can you talk to us about why the media was not invited to Comstat?
I do not know. That was my first Comstat that I was invited as well by the Commissioner of Police. I have not, I didn't know that you were not invited. I will ask the Commissioner of Police why. I think it's important that the media is invited and that they can go through the statistics that we have compiled for the year.
This was the first time in years that the media hasn't been invited. So you're saying as a minister you weren't aware that we were not given the invitation to come?
It was also my first time that I have been invited. As you know, I have been at that ministry for the past probably about 2 months. So I was also invited and I went there. If I had known the media was not invited, I would have been the one to make sure that the Commissioner of Police invites you.
When queried about his take on the crime numbers, Mira said that there is also and always room for improvement.
As you know, the police department, unfairly so, is always judged by statistics. They're always judged by the amount of robberies that happen. It's always judged by the amount of murders that happen. What we cannot quantify is the amount of crime that the police department can prevent by doing certain operations, by doing certain patrols, which is, understandable. You cannot count something that never happened. But I believe that as you saw the numbers, I think we were 1 less in murders, and we are also down in major crime. There's a lot more to do. I am aware that there's a lot more that we can do. We have been working very, very hard in making sure that we solve most of those murders that have happened. It is a priority for me whenever something happens, especially when it comes to murder, that the police department can have a thorough investigation that can lead to an arrest and that can lead to charges and ultimately for a conviction.
And the minister assured the media that despite not being invited to Comstat, a number session can be organized sometime by the top cop.
Would you be open to the media having a discussion with the police department and yourself about these statistics? Because the reason why we want to attend is because we have a lot of questions when it comes to these statistics. As you know, year round, we deal with it.
Yes, of course. I don't see why. The statistics are there. We keep our statistics as a means of gauging where we are and how we can better the service of the police department. It is for the Commissioner of Police to organize a day that you can go and ask questions about what the statistics are saying.
Commissioner Rosado has not held a press conference with the media since August 25th. That's a total of 157 days. Meanwhile, in other crime news, earlier this month, we reported that charges had been brought for various acts of fraud carried out against residents of Bella Vista through rogue employees at the Toledo Teachers Credit Union branching that village. 3 of those employees were charged, and yesterday we asked the area representative for his views on the situation. He says he's glad it's over.
No, I am very happy that that situation is coming to a closure. We need to whoever have made any mistake, then let it be charged. I'm in full support of it. In addition to that, I will be delighted to see that file comes to close, but not more. I believe the authorities are doing their job, and that's what we are looking for.
Notably, no charges were brought against a former branch manager who was allegedly the mastermind and is now an employee of the government of Belize. Do you know if more charges will be brought?
I don't know. I don't have that evidence, but I know he was charged.
We note that the alleged ringleader, now a government employee, has not been charged. And we take a break now, but when we come back, we'll take you to Placencia, where Belize is teaching regional partners about our seaweed farming techniques. Stay tuned for more news.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Remember when Senator Bacon was still a senator? He spoke about transparency and honesty.
If you don't have anything to hide, why don't you bring it to light?
So why did Chairman Bacon hide this? The first ever employment contract for a chairman. Locked in for 5 years with a salary nearly $400,000 a year.
Remember, BTL is owned by the people of Belize.
So while you struggle with high rates, he collects nearly $400,000 a year and gets paid even if he's no longer a director of the company. So even though everyone wants him gone,
NTUCB members wanted to demand Chairman Mark Lizarraga's resignation.
Chairman Lizarraga needs to go.
Bacon ain't giving up that fat salary. And even if he's removed, he still gets paid.
I sit at the pleasure of the Prime Minister.
Because that's how Chairman Bacon rolls.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
We continue our newscast with a story about the death at KHMH. There are many questions tonight about the death of a one-year-old boy, Matthew Martinez, that happened at the KHMH. A police report indicates that the child's 17-year-old mother took the infant to the KHMH on January 17th. The child was diagnosed with an eye and throat infection and malnourishment. He was admitted and underwent several tests, including x-rays and blood transfusions. On Monday, January 26, the mother was informed that her child had developed a heart problem and sepsis infection that was rapidly affecting his lungs and blood pressure. Then yesterday at around 1:30 p.m., the child became unresponsive and passed away. We contacted personnel from the KHMH for comment, but as of news time, we had not gotten a response. And in other news, Coral Caribe, a regional initiative led by the Nature Conservancy, is currently holding a seaweed cultivation training in Belize with 3 other countries participating, learning how to build practical skills in sustainable red seaweed cultivation. Our very own Jo Marie Lanza stopped by the workshop today, and here's what she gathered from the event.
The Coral Caribe project that was launched in 2022 was designed with an aim to provide an innovative and science-based path towards coral reef resilience with economic benefits for local communities that are feeling the sting of climate change. Given that the Caribbean itself is home to 10% of the world's coral reefs, with 60% of them spread out across countries like Belize, Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, these countries have partnered to reduce common threats against their coral reefs.
It's an annual planning meeting where we have colleagues from all the 5 countries of implementation get together and really do a quick review of what we accomplished for the past year and also plan for the next year. And that's what we did here for the first couple of days. But this year we added a couple of more activities. The second one being a learning exchange with the Super Reefs projects in Belize. And Super Reef is a project focused on also those reefs that are really resilient coral reef ecosystems, but they have a slightly different approach. And that's why we come here to learn their methods. But a third thing that we're doing this year is a training. We have in the Women's Seaweed Association of Belize training our colleagues from all the other countries of the project.
Seaweed aquaculture has gained traction and success within the past year in Belize and was identified as an alternative or a supplemental livelihood for stakeholders like fishermen. Jamaica is hoping that they can replicate the work in their country and provide training on how to establish a seaweed farm.
Belize is one of the regional leaders, especially in fisheries. We hope to get where you guys are. So that's why we jumped on this opportunity. In terms of protection, you guys are one of the forerunners, one of the first persons to declare protected areas, and we're kind of hoping to follow that model. In Jamaica, we've been increasing the number of fish sanctuaries that we have, protected areas in general, with the aim of helping our fisheries to recover. So basically, the seaweed farming offers an alternative sustainable livelihood, and which is what we're promoting. We're trying to reduce the threats to our reef and to our fisheries. And so activities like mariculture, seaweed farming, is one opportunity for fishers to change their livelihoods, move away from the fisheries. We're also promoting other alternative fisheries like pelagic or deep sea fishing. And all of this is just aimed to kind of reduce the pressures on the reef.
Do you think an industry like this would do well in Jamaica?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's the hope that we're having, to bring back some of these skills to our local fishermen and to just give them an alternative opportunity. We're not necessarily trying to stop them fishing. Well, definitely yes, in some areas. But for many of the fishermen in Jamaica, they've been fishing all their life. And so we're not trying to take them away from the seas. We're just trying to offer them an alternative opportunity for livelihood.
Unfortunately, like in any agricultural industry, it's the same in aquaculture. Starting is the hardest part, And a seaweed farm does not exactly appear overnight. You'll learn the ropes as you go along, quite literally, how to tie them and how to keep your seaweed from floating away in the rough waves.
I was discussing with them how we make the ropes, what are the size, the different splices, and then from there on I set out a diagram of the plots that we use to plant our seaweeds. Well, starting off, I didn't really have any challenges with planting the seaweed, prepping the ropes, because I already know how to do splices and things. So when they gave me the opportunity to go on to the farm and work with them and plant seaweed, pretty much it was a great learning process for me. Right now we have 8 plots, 7 plots on the farm and 1 tour plot. So when we go out and we plant, normally it would take 3 months growth time for we to go back and harvest.
For fishers that have spent years relying on the sea for a plentiful catch to feed their families and support their households, the only difficulty that they may face in shifting over to seaweed aquaculture would be that it takes a while to see the product, in comparison to going out to fish and bringing home a product in a day. However, TNC's maricultural specialist says that they see it as keeping the seamen in the sea, something that they are already familiar with, as opposed to other agricultural ventures.
I think the major interest would be, more so for the stakeholders, would be that we're not removing them from the sea. There have been alternative livelihood options in the past where we've experimented, and I use the term experiment because we've tried to ask or encourage fishers to do, for example, pig rearing or venture into agricultural activities, and it didn't really catch on. The hearts of fishers is that they gravitate to the ocean. So if we are asking them to relieve some of the stresses on our commercial species, we would need to identify alternative means of livelihood that does not take them away from the sea. So seaweed aquaculture is one of them. They are still on the water, in the water, which is an integral part of them. So I think that approach is one that I truly appreciate as well, because I consider myself as a water person. So removing me and putting me into the forest, yes, I enjoy it, but I still gravitate to go back to sea.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
The workshop continues tomorrow and on Saturday, and then they go out to do field work. And from seaweed farming to cane farming, the media asked the Prime Minister about the changes coming to BSI ASR. Yesterday, we told you about their move to mechanized harvesting and their plan to plant new varieties. And Briceño, as Minister of the Sugar Industry, is on board. Here's more.
I think it's a wonderful and a great program. They don't manage. What they do is they go in and they replant your fields properly. As we know, the sugar industry is going through a complete transformation, that we have to move from cutting cane by hand, manually, to mechanized. And to do that now we have to have longer rows and flat. We can't be having the mounts. You have to be flat with a slope so the water can run out. And so that's what we're doing. And also to be able to change the variety that could be more resistant to the fusarium and the other pests that are affecting us. We've been doing a lot of work with the sugarcane industry in the north. They represent about 15% of GDP or more, and they touch the lives of almost all, about 40,000+ Belizeans in the north. So we have to continue to work with them.
And that's all we have for you on 7 News on this Thursday night. Thank you so much for watching. I am Miriam Abdul-Kawi. You can find a full transcript of the news at 7newsbelize.com and see the video on our streaming video, that is, on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Have a good night and join Inter Craig back here tomorrow. Have a good night, folks.